That I think there was a lot of engineering involved. I don't think that it was a let it happen. The people that they portray as being the perpetrators, the Saudis and others, were not technically advanced. I don't think that these people really had the aptitude to even fly airplanes. I don't think that let it happen is possible, simply because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, that the aircraft impacts could not have possibly brought down the Twin Towers, and of course no airplane hit the Building 7. And it appears to be virtually undamaged when it collapses. So,
what do you propose to be the solution to the crisis we're in right now?
the crisis that we're in right now is over 100 years in the making. This is not this generation's stuff, as it were. We have to deal with something that originally started with the decision to remain a warring country after World War I. My proposal, and this is why I'm running for the US Senate, is to support an idea whereby we, the people, will come together and change our Constitution to say that we'll no longer be in the war business, the warring business. This constitutional amendment will prohibit the import or export of arms and thereby attack the main motivation for these types of scenarios where a war is needed. We need war to survive in our economy. 35% of our economy is based on war manufacturing materials, and without this element in our economy, we start to sink. And every president since I've been alive has sought out and fought a war, essentially against a fairly helpless, unarmed, third world country. And as long as there's the profit motivation in war, we'll continue to have some kind of excuse to go to war, and we will have presidents who will take us to war. For example, in the 1920s, a three-star general in the Marine Corps named Smedley Butler wrote a book called War is a Racket. And in there he describes how throughout World War I, millionaires were made in the United States. He quotes 21,000 new millionaires were made due to supplying munitions, boots, uniforms, every form of warring material for World War I. 21,000 new millionaires in the 1920s. That's a lot of millionaires. And that industry has done nothing but grow. And as it is now, it's a great part of our gross national product. We simply have to decide that this is a bad business to be in, and it certainly is. It's destructive, it's self-perpetuating, and completely disconnects us from the true challenges that we face in global warming and lack and diminishing resources. We've got the technology, we have the energy, we've got all the knowledge that man has ever devised at our fingertips, more so than any people can imagine. Just in my own lifetime, I started off with Pong, and now my use computers are stacking up like cordwood. There's many, many good businesses that we can be in. War is not one of them. And as long as we're warring, we're under the control of the fearmongers, and we have no liberty.